Good morning, and indeed it is a Monday.
It is a Monday. We're feeling it here.
It feels like a Monday, but we are so happy you're starting your week here with us at the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at the
fabulous Arizona Center. And I just realized my tie blends in with my shirt too well.
Uh-oh.
I looked, I'm like, I don't even look like I'm wearing anything, but I'm like, oh, it's just busy.
It's just busy.
Indeed.
Yep. Well, it'd be kind of hard not to blend in with that shirt in some way.
Right.
Also, happy March. It's the first Monday of March.
Oh, that's right. It's also I got that. February's done.
February's done.
Crap. That means there's stuff that I'm supposed to do in March that I'm like, I've got to put my nose to the grindstone and get done.
I know. March is a little bit intense for me, so we'll see. We'll see how this goes. If you see me in pajamas more often than not, you'll know that it's just because I've got a very busy
Or sleeping
month.
in your car.
Yeah, doing some public napping, yes.
Indeed.
But we're so happy you are waking up with us, spending your Monday and your March with the morning show. We're very, very grateful to have you here. We've got a pretty cool show lined up for you. We've got another filmmaker from the Worldwide Women's Film Festival that's coming up.
Which is always cool. I love that we're doing that.
I do too. What else do we got? We have the debut of our new chef segment, right?
Yes, we do.
So that's going to be pretty exciting.
All I know what that is, I got to the word beet carpaccio, and I was sold. I don't know what else is happening other than beet carpaccio.
We know it's going to be good, yeah.
Indeed.
And you've actually seen him on our show before. It's Chef Matt. He's going to be doing a segment with us called Flavor Phoenix. And yeah, it's going to be a good time.
It will indeed.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our very first guest of the day.
And welcome back to the morning show on this Monday. So happy you are joining us. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at the
fabulous Arizona Center. And you know, I love the fact that we're doing this series of filmmakers. It's so much fun and educational and yeah.
Yeah, and this guest we are bringing back, you might remember Diane Dresback. We talked to her about her book because she is an author, but I think I mentioned in that interview she's also a filmmaker. Hi, Diane.
Hi, thank you for having me back.
And wearing a new hat.
Yes, another hat.
Another
hat,
hat,
exactly.
Yeah. So you have a film showing at the Worldwide Women's Film Festival.
Yes.
Called The Cold Night. Mm-hmm. And I've seen the film before. It's controversial. But why don't I'll let you talk a little bit about it.
Okay. Do you want me to talk about the controversy first, or do you want me to?
I guess I kind of led with that one, so you could a little bit. Sorry.
No, that's okay. So the actual film is set a little bit. Well, it's gleaned from a novel that I've written.
Yeah.
Called Postponement, and it is set just a little bit in the future, not too far, and it's when parents or a woman has the choice to cryonically preserve their newborns until they're ready to bring them home.
Right.
So maybe for career, they want to stay a little bit longer in their career, or they want to finish their degree, or they want a bigger house, or just out of convenience, maybe parental immaturity,
right.
Whatever it might be. They have the choice of just putting the little baby on ice until they're ready to bring the baby home.
Yeah.
And anything having to do with, the topics of reproduction and choice and everything is always a little bit controversial.
Yeah.
Very controversial. So in the story, of course, this is just gleaned from the bigger story. But what I try and do is to just present it. I'm not taking sides one way or the other. These are things that just naturally come from people having different opinions. But the question is what if this was a safe option?
Right. Yeah.
It's just another option. So that's kind of what goes down that path.
Yeah, yeah. I know, and I was intrigued by it, honestly. Like when I was like, that would be actually sort of convenient if you could do that. But it was interesting though, because when the film was kind of first going, I didn't know if it was in statement to current times and abortion. So then the twist kind of comes in, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. So that, I mean, and that is an option too, right? Is you could just have an abortion and not choose to have the baby and cryogenically preserve it till a later date. So yeah, it's Diane does very thoughtful
obviously
films, yeah, that kind of make your mind think about things, and that's something that she's very good at. So yeah.
I like to have people be able to talk afterwards and say, oh, what would happen if that was the case? You know, if that eventually became an option, and in the future.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So you worked with Colleen and Michael J. Hanlon.
Yes. Sandy Kim.
And Sandy Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All good friends of mine. Colleen is a very talented actress in the local community here. And I'm curious, like, what makes you decide to kind of work with a similar cast repeatedly? Like, is there just a trust there? Are they easy to direct? Like, what is it that kind of makes that kind of a solid choice for you in multiple projects?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We do invite Colleen back a lot. In fact, we just brought her back in for the A3F challenge that we just shot a couple weekends ago.
That.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we had Colleen on that too, and Stacy Stalker. Trust, talent. Yeah. They understand, especially under a tight deadline. They understand how it works. They're always come in professional, and we just love Colleen and the other people that I use repeatedly. Yeah. But I do try and branch out and use new people as well. Invite them on. So.
Yeah. What kind of conversations do you end up having with people at festival settings who've seen this film? Like, what kind of reactions, what kind of conversations do you kind of engage in?
It's interesting. Some people are, I shouldn't say some, I've had a couple people that have come up and have been upset about it.
Yeah.
Upset about it. And, I just talk with them. This is fiction. This is just a what if. It's not anything that's actually going on.
Yeah.
And other people come up and they love it because it's different. Right. It's a different idea. It's not just, some of the same stuff. And it's interesting, some festivals, I think the judges didn't like it, and so it's not selected. Other ones, they have really liked it. Like up in Sholo, we got best film short the whole festival.
Oh, wow.
With that.
Congrats. Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so it just depends on, where people are at. But it's really, it's just the potential of controversy. It doesn't have to be controversial, but the subject matter can be. And then up at the Sholo Film Festival, I had also submitted this full-length feature screenplay postponement. And I got they gave me a second place in their script award for that too. So there's,
So is that coming? Is the feature film coming?
Oh, we're hoping so.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Get those investors. That's always the big question. So
yeah.
But that one's ready to go. So.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I hear we have a trailer, a teaser, a clip.
Just a few clips from the film.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, let's watch it, Theo.
I just want to be more ready. Those people out front have no right to judge us.
Child is a big responsibility.
Mother's under.
Your baby is our highest priority.
Her name's Adriana.
That's nice.
Yay! All right, so if you want to see the full thing, it is playing at the Worldwide Women's Film Festival. Do you know, I put another filmmaker on the spot. She's like, I don't know.
I do know when it's screening. And one other thing I wanted to mention is that even though I wrote the short, I co-directed it with my son, Devin.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
we
very
often
cool.
do film challenges and film things together, so I just wanted to mention him. It's screening Saturday, March 8th in the 12:35 block the decisions block, I think they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love everybody who like says the name of their block. They're like, I don't get the name of this block, but I'm in it. Yeah. So
That one actually probably fits pretty well, making
it does.
decisions.
That
I
one
was
does,
going to say, for
yeah.
your movie, it sounds like the term decision fits really well.
Yeah, but my standard reminder, yes, the film blocks have different names. So again, you can read about the films that are in each block and get more information. But will you be there for this screening?
I will be there.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so you can come have a delightful conversation with Diane after you watch the film. And I just think it's so great that you're willing to take on these kinds of projects, knowing that there will be some controversy about it and that you don't shy away from that. That's brave. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you at the festival.
Yes.
And for those that don't know, the festival's running from March 7th through March 9th at Shea Scottsdale. And I'll be out there pretty much all weekend, and it's going to be a really good time. So we hope that you'll join us and come see Diane's film, The Cold Night. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back after this.
Good morning and welcome back to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're at
The fabulous Arizona Center. And what a day we've already had. The film series just keeps on going on, so.
Yeah, I think we've got more filmmakers slotted to come in, so we can look forward to even more filmmakers from the Worldwide Women's Film Festival. I know, that's such a...
Wow, we didn't even
Blah,
plan to be
blah,
able to, and we
blah.
actually...
Eventually, we'll just be saying everything in
Well,
unison
true.
for the rest of our lives.
We'll just be here, just
know.
saying in our mind. Okay, we'll just tap into it.
How annoying would that be?
It's like, get out of my head.
I can't.
So.
Okay, well, speaking of being in your head, I know what you want to do right
Oh,
now.
I always want to talk some Arizona history. All right, so on this date in 1859,
Yes.
in the little town of Tubac.
Tubac.
Have you been to Tubac?
I've been to Tubac.
I mean, in that little tiny town, suddenly there was the first newspaper in Arizona that shows up
In Tubac?
in Tubac, and it was the Weekly Arizonan.
Ah,
Indeed.
interesting.
Yeah, which I think is really cool. I mean, in Tubac, it's just one place where you can go now and enjoy the art, but there's that whole little Tubac historic
Wait,
area in the back.
The Weekly Arizonian. That's an I in there.
Oh, it is? Oh, yeah, the Weekly Arizonian.
Wow.
So, yeah. But I love the fact that it's like, and you can get this on the Arizona Memory Project, so you can actually read the newspaper from 1859
Well, that's pretty cool.
and see what news was going on.
As a former journalist, I always appreciate history about the newspaper business. That's fun.
Indeed, and it gave birth to so much other stuff.
It sure did.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
Well,
it
exactly.
did.
The Phoenix Gazette,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
the Arizona Republic, and so much more. The Tucson Star, Observer, blah, blah, the list goes on and on and on. So,
It does, yeah.
yeah.
I wonder how many are still going right now. Should look into that. I did that a couple years ago.
Oh, to see, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, I should do that again. It's always
Well, yeah, because I
interesting.
was up in Lake Havasu and we were looking at the paper, and it's like it went from being really thick to a few pages.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, well, even the Arizona Republic, they just don't cover a lot of things that they used to cover. Even at like a city level, they just
Right.
don't do it. So yeah, it's interesting. Okay, well, sad times for this old newspaper woman. Let's celebrate something to change my mood, Marshall.
That's right. A little mood altering. So every ball game kicks off with the national anthem.
It sure does.
And so today commemorates when the Star Spangled Banner became the national anthem.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if Marshall and I hated you, we would sing it for you to celebrate. But we don't hate you.
Right, exactly. So we're not
we
going to
won't
torture
do
you.
that.
Yeah, and so that happened back in 1931. That it became the official anthem.
Okay.
And so we know it was written by Francis Scott Key. And there you go. It's one of
There
those
you
songs
go.
we all grew up knowing.
Yes, we did.
And so, also today is National Soup It Forward Day.
What does that mean? Buy soup for somebody?
Basically, it's just, deliver some love and kindness by the bowlful.
I would love that today.
So, 'cause-
somebody send me soup.
Because somebody, soup can cure a cold, can warm your soul. I mean, it's like, that whole idea of chicken soup
Yeah.
for the soul. So,
What's
whether
your favorite soup?
I would say I love a good cheese soup. So,
I do too.
yeah.
Although the best cheese soup I ever had was in Germany, and it's hard to live up to that one.
You could make it yourself.
We've tried.
I bet there's probably some beer in there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah, I bet
yeah.
there is too. Yeah, I don't know. We just can't capture that. It was like a really, really small town in Germany too. We were freezing cold. We just stopped in to get out of a storm, and it ended up being like the best soup we've ever had.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you're always forever chasing that bowl of soup.
know.
It's like, where is it? Where is it?
It's very elusive. Yeah, I'm like your clothes. Like my soup matches my mood. Like I have different soups for how I'm feeling. So.
So what is your soup for today?
My soup for today, I could go for, maybe a nice like tortilla chicken soup. Yeah, that sounds lovely.
A good choice. But something you wouldn't want to put in your soup is some wildlife. Because today is World Wildlife, and not World Wildlife Soup, it is just World Wildlife Day. I mean, where it really is talking about conservation and efforts to protect endangered species and their habitats.
Well, on that front, you could go visit the Wildlife World Zoo.
Indeed.
Way out in the West Valley. They actually
Yeah.
have a very cool aquarium, and it's a cool zoo. It's very different than Phoenix Zoo.
Right.
So if you want to experience that, and then there is a new documentary by Tom Hanks. Well, it's not by Tom Hanks, he's narrating it. But it's
okay.
all about wildlife in the Americas, and it's supposed to be really, really, really cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that could be a fun way to celebrate.
Indeed. As well, if you want to chase away the blues and you didn't have any soup, it is Irish Whiskey Day.
Always a good solution.
So, and I think it's funny because, it's only 2 weeks before St. Patrick's Day. So
Oh
they're,
my God, you're right.
yeah.
I forgot about that.
So it's just kind of like,
When is St. Patrick's Day this year? What day does it fall on?
I
Do you
have
know?
no idea.
Okay.
Well, basically, it's 2 weeks.
Okay. So we live near Fibber McGee's, and so anyone who wants to come out and party with us on
Okay.
St. Patrick's Day, we usually go at Fibber's. They kind of block off the whole parking lot and turn it into kind of an unofficial block party. And
So usually do the same thing with Seamus. It's like they'll block off the block in front of
Yeah.
Seamus. So.
yeah. So
And so we can have a sip of that smooth amber liquor. Num, 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 num,
num
num.
num num num.
Indeed, so tasty. And so, what a great way to celebrate just by
I feel like that could be a perfect day. Some Irish whiskey,
And
a
some
bowl of
soup.
soup, watching the Tom Hanks America's Wildlife
That's right,
documentary.
all balled up into one fun evening.
I left out the national anthem, I know, but it's okay.
Yeah, it was like, trying to figure out how do you squeeze that in? It's
It's fine.
so there you go. So that's what we're celebrating
All right.
today.
Well, take your pick or celebrate them all, whatever your heart desires. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back after this with our second guest of the show.
And welcome back to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at
the fabulous Arizona Center.
That's right.
The day just keeps getting better and better.
It does. I was just going to say, we've been having a grand time today, and we'll let the grand times continue. We are joined right now by Shanna. Is it Shanna?
Shanna,
Shanna
yes.
Parker with Angels Go to Work. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great.
Thanks for joining us today. So, tell us a little bit about you and what exactly is Angels Go to Work?
So Angels Go to Work is a nonprofit organization that is focused on human trafficking. Human trafficking was part of my past as a teenager. And so whenever I became an adult and had kids of my own, when my daughter turned 13, which was the age I was when I went in, then I refocused everything in my life and just really focused it in that direction. And Angels Go to Work was one of the things that came out of that.
So, forgive me for asking like a literal question, but what kind of work does Angels Go to Work actually do? Because you hear so many different things about sex trafficking and how to help prevent it and all this different stuff, and you never really know what the best options or things actually are. So I'm kind of curious, like what it is that the organization actually does.
So we're boots on the ground, small nonprofit.
Yeah.
I work directly with victims who have experienced sex trafficking, predominantly juveniles, but also adults, and it's mostly adults through Angels Go to Work. A lot of these adults I've worked with as juveniles, and so it's helping them stay focused, helping them find resources, and helping them have a voice for themselves. And then I actually also do a lot of training across the United States, whether it's with law enforcement, direct care professionals, or other invested individuals. And then I'm also currently serving as a delegate for the White House to the countries of Canada and Mexico, working on a delegation specifically related to indigenous issues and how those are affected by sex trafficking.
So I'm going to ask you a couple more obvious questions just because I think it's important for people to understand. So when you talk about sex trafficking or being a victim of sex trafficking, what exactly does that mean? What does that include as far as what it is?
That's a good question, because sex trafficking happens in a lot of different ways. It is very multifaceted and multi-layered. For myself, I experience pimp control trafficking, which is mostly street level trafficking and some familial trafficking. The familial trafficking and the pimp control trafficking were not in conjunction with each other, so those are two different forms of trafficking right there.
Okay.
And so for myself, that's what I experienced, but there are a lot of different forms of sex trafficking.
Yeah. And how prevalent is it in our country right now?
Where there are humans, there is human trafficking.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a big city. It doesn't have to be a border town. It doesn't have to be anything commercial. A lot of familial trafficking happens in small rural areas,
right.
And it is just as damaging as the trafficking that happens in the city under a pimp control.
Yeah. So what is kind of being done through your work with advocacy to kind of help create policy and maybe do some things to help prevent sex trafficking and also how do people maybe who aren't super familiar with that world also help support and raise awareness about it as well?
Well, the number one thing is education, because knowledge is power. And so the number one thing I do is not only educate victims and law enforcement and direct care providers, but also the community as well, so that they understand really what it looks like and how to report that if they do notice something. And the most important thing in reporting it is not to approach the situation yourself. Collect as much information as possible and reach out to one of the hotlines or your local police department to report those issues.
Is it one of those things that's difficult to report? Like I know a lot of times
Oh,
women,
it can be. It can be very difficult.
Like women, will just choose not to report rape because it's just so challenging to prove it. You know, is that kind of the same situation for this?
Very much so,
Yeah.
because you know, especially if you're in the hands of a trafficker, he can move a lot faster than you can even make it through a 911 phone call.
Right.
And so those dangers definitely, you know, do present themselves. And then a lot of traffickers are connected to other traffickers. And so even if he is arrested, there's the fear that someone related to him will then, you know,
Right.
follow suit and do something in that line there.
Right.
So it is very scary, you know, getting out of those situations and also reporting that you need help in those situations. And also, they don't know what kind of help is out there
Yeah.
because that's a new thing for us.
Right.
You know, we haven't had resources in many years, all the years, you know,
Yeah.
except for recently. And so now it's that education piece, like I said, making sure that people are aware that the resources are out there, how to access the resources, whether it be to gain, you know, help for themselves or just to gain knowledge. A lot of resources out there to gain that knowledge and to gain the help.
Yeah.
Right, I know when the Super Bowl was here, you heard a lot of folks talking about the sex trafficking that was going on because of the event going on. There were all these other things attached to that as well.
Yeah.
And so we were trained for, well, how do we get that information into accessible to the folks who actually need it?
Yeah, so anytime you have any large sports events, not just the Super Bowl, but also the PGA, golfing events, even large IT events, you're going to see traffickers follow those events because anywhere where there's men with money, those are the types of events that they're going to follow. Your fastest course of action is going to be to call your local law enforcement to report any incidents that you feel might be a red flag for sex trafficking. Or you can also, if you don't want to talk to someone in person, you can go to the Homeland Security website and report a tip online. And then that online tip will be forwarded to that local police department. You can also call the 1-888-3737-888, which is the hotline through Polaris, and they will also transfer that information to the local police department. So there are several avenues, thankfully, that we have to report issues on sex trafficking or any other type of trafficking, whether it be labor trafficking or any of those.
Well, and how incredible that you have stepped into this role to do this kind of work and, you know, create and be a part of the resources that you didn't have, you know, when you were in that experience. For those that can see, we've got a couple books on the table here that you have authored. Do you want to share a little bit about these books?
Yeah, absolutely. So, And He Called Me Angel was the first book I released, and that book really goes over my experience in sex trafficking. It's written as a novel, so if you really want to know what these teenagers can experience while they're under the control of a pimp, then that really explains it. Yeah. The newest book I've just released, Silencing an Angel, is the next book in the series. So this will be a series of books where I'm just going to tell the whole story about my whole life, and so eventually those last books will get to the work that I'm doing today. I've worked with just under 250 victims of sex trafficking here in Arizona, and these are all children.
Okay.
And on the adult side, you know, several hundred on the adult side as well.
Yeah.
But we have to get the knowledge out there. People have to understand, you know, what occurs in these situations. The second book, you know, just kind of carries on. I will give you a little, you know, teaser there. It starts with a death penalty trial and it ends with a prison escape.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
all right.
quite the book.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. So speaking of getting that information out there, can you share with our audience how they find out more about your organization and the work that you do and how they can contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. angelsgotowork.com. It is online, and there is a contact page there on angelsgotowork.com. But I also do want to let people know, if you have any suspicions or think that you see something that might be related to human trafficking, whether it's sex trafficking or labor trafficking, it is better to report it and be wrong than to hold the information and be right. So you can reach the Polaris hotline at 1-888-3737-888. You can also contact Homeland Security on their online platform and register a incident there, or if you have any information there. And never hesitate to call your local police, because all of our police agencies across the United States are very familiar with human trafficking and would love to hear from the community if there are any issues in the community that they need to be aware of.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And that what an important tip you just shared about it's better to report it and be wrong than to hold on to that information. And that I didn't really
whether
think
it's
about
small
it.
town or big city,
Yeah.
where there are humans, there is human trafficking.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing about this really, really important cause. If you know anybody that's been impacted by sex trafficking or just want to learn more or are in need of resources yourself, please do reach out and use everything that she's just shared today. We'll also make this available on our socials and online. Thank you again for joining us. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this to close out our show with some things to do and some other good things.
And welcome back to the morning show on this Monday. I'm Marshall Shore. There's a lot of M's in there, and then you're going to be a lot of M's as well.
I'm Melissa Farley, and we're here at the fabulous Arizona Center. You got caught up in your bubble tracking.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
I know.
And the ball was bouncing on all the M's.
Okay, so we have our first segment with Chef Matt coming up.
Yeah.
Another M.
So excited about
Triple
that.
M's.
Yeah.
We are going to share some things to do with you for your Monday.
Indeed. What do you want to do?
All right, so if you're like me, you might need a little bit of self-love and healing right now. And so I invite you to join in on a manifestation journey and sound healing.
I was wondering what was coming after that.
Yep. This is happening. I mean, it could have been whiskey, so fair that you didn't know what was coming. This is happening at the Chakra House in Phoenix at 7 p.m. tonight. This is all about basically it's a manifestation ceremony to set powerful intentions and bring your dreams to life. And then there's going to be a sound bath that is meant to uplift your spirit and soothe your soul. This is a very unique opportunity to connect with other people that share these kind of beliefs and modalities. It is going to be from 7 p.m. to 8:30. And the price is beautiful. It's $33.33. So there you go. Yeah, that's right. We're on a theme.
Indeed.
This is also actually on theme with what we were just talking about. We're going to have a higher self friendly chat happening at the Lacuna Cava Bar in Phoenix at 7:30 p.m. This actually ties into a discussion we had earlier last week. This is a very safe and welcoming space for LGBTQIA and BIPOC as well as allies to connect, engage, and grow through thoughtful conversations. So each gathering dives into some different topics, kind of centered around spirituality, holistic wellness, higher consciousness, and it's all guided by very passionate speakers, and then there's open Q&A discussions. This is totally free to attend, but it is an 18+ event.
Oh, okay.
And that is from 7:30 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. This one is a little more chill, a little more laid back. This is Magical Garden Cat Paint and Sip at Charlie's Place, and this is West Side in Glendale. See, there's the little cat right there. Isn't it cute? Magical Garden Cat, very literal. This is a limited seating event, so you do need to buy tickets in advance. You can have drinks and food while you paint and sip, and then there'll be instructors around to help you do this. It's $45, which includes your supplies. This is a 21 plus event since there is alcohol, and it's from 6 to 8 p.m.
Should you bring your own cat model?
That would be fun, actually. I love little kitties running around while I'm doing it. This one is pretty useful. I'm thinking about popping by this one myself, actually. This is a podcast training at studios at Mesa at City Center, and it's happening at 5 p.m. So this is for people, if you've ever wanted to record your own podcast in a professional space, you can kind of learn the ins and outs of how to do just that. It's presented by Stephen Burkhart. And after training, you'll actually be allowed to start booking the studio space there to record. So you don't you can go home and record your own podcast, but they have space available for you to use. And so you get trained in the studio and then you can book it. So this is totally free to attend. It's from 5 to 6 p.m. And that sounds like a cool opportunity, actually.
Indeed.
Lastly is what I meant to say. We have AZ Music Fest presents a tribute to Tony Bennett at the Highlands Church in Scottsdale at 7:30 p.m. That's right. This is by Michael Feinstein. I don't know why I said it like that. It just seemed fun to say it that way. This is all honoring the history of big band and jazz music and Carnegie Hall and the legacy of Tony Bennett. So Michael will be playing a heartfelt multimedia tribute to his personal friend and beloved singer. This is all ages welcome. It starts at 7:30 p.m. and tickets do start at $65.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I would say dress up a little bit.
Yeah, actually, this is the church that Pat's parents go to. We go there for like Christmas Eve service, and it's really a cool venue. And they do a lot of different music events and concerts and things like that. So, yeah.
Nice.
Well, I hear we have some birthdays to celebrate.
It's your birthday. Jump up, go have a great day. Everyone has come to see you. Make a wish and hope it comes true.
All right, so Lily Tomlin used to have this character. One ringy dingy, two ringy dingy, three ringy
I
dingy.
know exactly what you're talking about.
And so we are doing that because today is Alexander Graham Bell's birthday.
Oh, so he's our dead guy, huh?
He is our dead guy.
All right.
And so basically a co-founder of AT&T, as well as inventor of the phone. And it all came about because he had a deaf sister and a deaf mom and a deaf wife. And so he was listening to sound and looking at it in different ways and trying to help them. And that's how he discovered this whole way to transmit sound.
Well, what a powerful and long-lasting contribution.
Indeed. You know, I don't know if people thought it was a fad, but it's around and it ain't
Definitely
going
not
nowhere.
a fad. Nope.
No, not at all. And then, you know, when we talk about our sports,
Because we always talk about sports.
You know, Jackie Joyner Kersee.
Okay.
I mean, she won, medals in the Olympics. She won 3 in her career, 1 gold, 1 silver, actually 4, and 2 bronze.
Medals for what?
She was in running.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And long jump.
Okay.
And she is still considered to be basically does all kinds of philanthropic work, helping people overcome that. She herself overcame asthma to become this athlete.
Well, that is
And so
cool.
she is 62 years old.
Happy birthday.
Indeed. And then we have Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel.
Rules of Attraction, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one of your favorite movies, I'm sure.
Love it. Watch it all the time.
Blade Trinity, Stealth,
Seventh Heaven?
And also Seventh Heaven, indeed, where she played a very different character than what she did in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes, that is for sure.
So,
Jessica Biel, dump your crappy husband and move on with your life and have a very happy birthday is all I have to say. I have no strong opinions about Justin Timberlake.
obviously not. And so Jessica is 42 years old
She
today.
looks great. Happy birthday, Jessica.
Indeed. And then another actress that is celebrating her 54th birthday is Julie Bowen, who you might know as Claire Dunphy from Modern Family,
Yep.
where she garnered herself 2 Emmys. As well, she's been on ER, Boston Legal, Lost.
She works with Adam Sandler a lot.
So
Yep.
Happy Gilmore, exactly, and
Yep.
Horrible Bosses. So happy 54th birthday.
Happy 54th. Yeah.
So
Well, if you've got a birthday, an anniversary, something you'd like to celebrate, make sure you reach out to us. We'd love to celebrate you. We are online at On The Morning Show on Instagram, or you can email us at hello@onthemorningshow.com. We are going to take a quick break and be back with some delicious food, a really cool chef. Well, you've met him before, but he's back and he's here to stay, which we're thrilled about.
yeah.
So keep it right here for Flavor Phoenix.
Oh my gosh, it's Monday madness.
I was like, is it Monday? It is Monday. You're right.
Well, because I mean, we continue on with the M's because we have Matt coming on, Chef Matt.
Marshall, Matt. I'm not Matt. That's Matt over there.
So I'm Marshall
It's
Shore.
been a long day.
This
I'm
is,
tired.
and who are you?
I don't know. Melissa. I'm Melissa Farley. Hi.
Hello, and this is indeed the morning show coming to you from
The fabulous Arizona Center.
We're
Yes.
happy you're here with us, and we are breaking in a brand new segment.
We are, and we are so pumped about it. We have Chef Matt back with us, and he is going to be doing a segment called Flavor Phoenix. Matt, welcome back to the morning show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so what are we making today?
So today we are making a beef carpaccio, and I'm going to basically explain everything that's going on while Josh, this lovely gentleman here, builds the plate. So we're starting with a filet mignon by our local purveyor, Capital Farms, based out in Wickenburg, and then we're going to do a vegetarian option as well. So
Yeah.
Marshall is so excited, in case you couldn't tell.
awesome. Yeah, it's great. So I'm going to have Josh get started with some pickled red onions on this filet, which is going to be great. And actually, this is a very super simple dish to do. You can literally just go to Whole Foods, go to your meat purveyor, and slice some filet when you get home, very thinly, and dress it up with some great flavors. So we're going to do the pickled red onions for that vinegar appeal, and then once that's done, he's going to have the nice pistachios. Now, pistachios, fun fact about pistachios, Arizona is the 3rd largest state that provides and grows pistachios.
We
So
are?
Really?
yeah, it's fun.
Where do
it's a
we
fun
grow
fact.
that?
So where is like pistachio country at?
Yeah.
Now you're making me think.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Didn't mean to put you on
I'm
the
like,
spot.
well, that makes
No,
me.
you're
It's
good.
like there's a rabbit hole to go down that I didn't.
There
know
is a
I
rabbit hole, and I'll have that for you. But I've been crazy busy. We've been slammed, so I didn't get to get all my research behind my belt, which is bad on me. But yeah, so now that I dropped the ball on that one, we're just gonna move on to the goat cheese. So he's putting some goat cheese on this lovely carpaccio.
He's like, I don't want to talk about pistachios.
I love pistachios. Pistachios are one of my favorite nuts. But
I do love goat cheese. I'm actually really excited about the goat cheese.
awesome.
Yeah.
Goat cheese is one of my favorites, and you could do it in pretty much anything, from an omelet to on your steak, on your carpaccio.
So Matt,
and then-
can I ask you what exactly is a carpaccio? Because like I saw it on a menu and we didn't know what it was and we just ordered it anyway, and I still don't exactly know that I could explain what that means. So
Okay.
what is it?
So it's a raw beef, basically, and it's served pretty thin, so you want to have it chilled, and it's there to just experiment and have a good time with. So, but yeah, basically raw beef. You could do other things like with seafood, but that's considered a crudo.
Okay.
Kind of like the scallops we did last time. That was a tartare, still raw, but totally different appeal, different effect. What he's doing now is he just finished it with some Calabrian chili oil from Frankie's, which is one of my favorite spicy oils. We are Calabrian chili heavy on all of our menus, and this just kind of adds our signature touch to the dish. And then he's doing some locally sourced microgreens. So this kind of brings that fancy, cutesy little appeal to the dish, which is fun and elegant, and it also brings a different flavor per bite while making it look good. Then to top it off, he is doing a smoked Maldon salt. So you're not only going to get the saltiness, but now you're going to have a smoky flavor behind it, which is great. And then now it's my turn. So...
And now I get to actually do something.
Now I get to do this and not talk about pistachios. But that being said, this is for all you meat lovers out there. You could have your protein, your beef, but then there are many out there in this lovely state of Arizona that are vegetarians or even vegans, but we're going to stick to the vegetarian side of things and do the same dish, but with roasted beets. So we went and roasted our beets this morning, and we're going to place these bad boys ever so lovely on the plate.
So why did you choose beets instead of something else?
Why did I choose beets?
Yeah.
Well, the color, for one, it will in some ways mirror the appeal of the beef.
Right.
And then texturally speaking, it's got that mushy snap
meaty.
behind it. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So I wanted to kind of keep things different but the same, if you will. So yeah.
I just know a lot of people substitute like mushrooms when they're trying to swap in something for meat.
And that could definitely be an option if you choose to go that route. Yep. But I got the beets right now, so we're good.
I like it.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
No, I'm happy with the beets. I mean, when
Right
you get
on.
smoked beets, I'm in your corner.
Beets are great. Awesome. Right on. So I'm going to get my hands dirty because this guy was smart and had gloves. But that's all good. So I did the red onions as well. And the goat cheese is nice and
Yum.
plated. It'll be great.
Nom, 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 nom.
Well, you will eat goat cheese, right?
Oh,
You just
indeed.
don't do the meat.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right. You don't do the meat. I don't know anything about pistachios. We're good. We're winning.
So no, and I was just looking it up, and so like Cochise County, it's like where a lot of the wines are grown.
Gotcha.
It's
That makes
like
sense.
that's where pistachios are being grown right now.
That does make sense.
Awesome.
I was like, I didn't know the climate for pistachios. Who knew?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Well, how did I not know that? I know all kinds of useless
You do.
information.
I
And
know.
so that's why I'm like, how is that not one of them? Now it is.
Right on. Yeah, that again, I dropped the ball on that one.
No, we just like to put people on the spot on this show.
That's all right.
what. No, I'm kidding.
I'm on the spot. That's all good. All good.
Hey, all we care about is that your food tastes good. We don't care if you actually know what you think about it. No,
Bring
I'm
up
kidding.
random facts, Matt, next time. Forget the food. No, I'm just kidding. All good. Yeah, so I got all that done. We're in business.
Wow, that was so quick.
It's super simple. Doing what we do the private dinners and whatnot, you want to push things out as quickly as you can so things are timed accordingly. But you also want them to look good and taste good as well.